Okay, I've done a couple of test runs with my Singer 1590, one from 1947, and I've got my stitch length adjusted where I want it, and I attached my Singer walking foot. I mean, this is a Singer machine, and I have a short shank machine with a short shank walking foot, so they work. So I got the stitch length down quite a bit. It's pretty low, and that's fine because I want slightly bigger stitches for the quilting on this quilt. Only thing is I need to tighten up the screw that holds the walking foot on every once in a while. It just wants to loosen as I'm sewing. Anyway, I'm going to show you a little bit about how I'm quilting on this Singer 1590. Anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and do some quilting here. And I just go short spaces at a time. I'm not trying to zip through the whole length of the quilt all at once. And just adjust the quilt here so that I don't have too much drag. And I'm trying to let the machine just pull it through at its own speed. And right here I want to adjust just a little bit. I'm stitching in the ditch, and I didn't want this white thread on the red fabric, so I want it on the ditch is on the white fabric side anyway, so that's where I want it to be. I'm leaving my safety pins in, but I'm making sure they are out of the way. And this machine does not go real fast anyway, so I can push the presser foot down as far as it'll go, and it still won't go that fast. Okay, I'm gonna hop over a little bit. Now I don't have any gloves or anything to use, so I don't know how much extra help that would be since I have a short bed. I don't have an extended bed on this machine. And I really have to be careful not. It wants to drag on this edge of the machine, so I have to try and keep that up. So that it won't drag there. Okay. Let me see. I'm going to get closer so you can see this a little better. Okay, here is the line I just finished in here. I didn't try to keep it exactly in the ditch. I wanted it a little bit away. I'm not going for absolute perfection as far as the ditch, but I think that's actually pretty good. And I'll show you the back. And I've done 2 rows of stitching. This is the one I just completed right here, all the way through there. So that looks to me about 12 to maybe 10 stitches per inch. So far it's going okay. So I'm going to go ahead and keep quilting on this for a little bit, and then I'll get right back to you. Today I'm going to work on the inside of the panel, but first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wind a bobbin or 2 and see if I can get this to work. I haven't tried it on this machine, so I'm not sure it works, but I'm going to find out. Now I put on a darning foot, so is circle there. I do need to change my needle yet, and it's spring loaded, so it will kind of just glide over top of the fabric here. And I'm going to go ahead and change my needle. So I'm going to take this one out, and this one's barely used, so I'm going to set that aside and use it later. Okay, so these are Schmetz needles, and they're quilting needles, and they're size 90/14. Now they also had a package of sorted needles, but they were 70s and 90s only. They didn't have any 80s, so I didn't bother picking that up. I think the 70s are too fine for quilting, at least for what I am doing. And I just need to find the slot. Okay, there we go. Okay, and I'm going to pull that thread underneath the foot, so I'll thread it through there. Okay, so I got a practice piece. I was practicing doing some pre-motion quilting last night, but it's the white thread on white fabric, so you can't really see it. One thing you got to remember to do is to lower your presser foot, which mine is already down. And you can see how there's room to glide your fabric underneath. So I'm going to go ahead and take a couple of stitches. That kind of locks the threads in place. And for me, what I have found works better is to go at full speed on the machine. So I'm going to press down all the way on the foot pedal. The drawback is this vinyl table vibrates. The motor makes the table bounce up and down, so that's a little more difficult, especially for filming. What I'm going to be doing is just following the contours of the gown on here, you know, like following down through here, and not doing a whole lot of heavy quilting in here. And so that should be fairly easy to do. And I'm going to roll the quilt as much as I need to. And I'm going to see how close I can get. One thing I forgot to look for was gloves, machining gloves. I don't have any of those. So this is going to be a little more difficult than anything I've done before as far as machine quilting on a domestic machine. And there's no needle up and down, so you have to do that manually. And I take out safety pins as I work. I just thought this would be too hard to do with a walking foot because of all the extra curves. But there's also the drag of the machine since it isn't on a table. I've got this ledge. Everything wants to hang up right there. So that's a bit of an issue. I'm hoping to find a rhythm here. My stitches are a lot smaller than I want. I'm not moving the quilt fast enough for the speed that I'm running the machine. Okay, so now I'm ready to work on the background, and I'm just going to do some straight line stitching. It's kind of some back and forth stitching, kind of following the contours of all of these firework explosions here. So lower the presser foot. I switched over to the navy thread, and I'm going to go ahead and pull up the bobbin and tack in place, and we're going to go for it. Now, I've not tested anything yet, so I don't know how well this is going to work. So I guess we will find out together. So I do know that it's easier to push the fabric or pull the fabric towards you as opposed to pushing it back. So we'll see how things go. Okay. Okay, so here is the back and the front. The front's just going to blend in. You're not going to see that very much. So I'm just going to do one section at a time. I don't feel like I have to go between each little line of color either. I'm just wanting to get some quilting in here. So I'm hitting about every other one. I have to say this is harder than long arm quilting. It just takes a whole different set of skills, whole different set of muscles, whole different way of thinking as you're moving your quilt as opposed to the fabric. I mean, you're moving, yeah, instead of the machine. So a little more difficult. for watching. For more quilting ideas, click on the video links. And to keep up with my latest projects, click on the subscribe button. I hope to see you again soon.